cat and I play red. Now, Essen's been and gone. It was a while back, 4 months ago, and I'm ashamed to say that some of the games I bought there are still on the shelf of opportunity. However, we played one of them this week and I was like, wow, why have we not played this before? This is really nice. So that's what we're going to look at today. We are going to look at Gutenberg, published by Grana Games. I know Portal have picked it up for US release. So let's have a look at how it plays. In Gutenberg, players are printing pioneers in the 15th century. Over the course of 6 rounds, you will gain ink, letter blocks, specialities and patrons, all of which will help you fulfill orders to gain fame and money and hopefully win the game. Each of the 6 rounds has 5 phases. The first thing you're going to do in each round is rotate your cogs. We haven't got any cogs yet, so I guess we're not going to be doing that just yet. So let's move on to phase 2, planning. Depending on where you are in the turn order will depend how many initiative cubes you have. The higher up the turn order you are, the fewer cubes you'll have. So at the moment, I'm the first player. I am going to start the game with 7 cubes. During the planning phase, players will simultaneously place their cubes on their planning board. Now, there is a screen, so you can't see what I'm doing, but obviously we're going to keep this as open information for now. Now, these represent the 5 areas on the board and will be resolved in this order. For each action, the number of markers a player has put here will determine at what point they take their turn. The player with the most cubes in a row will complete that action first, then the player with the second, and so on. I'm just going to pop 1 in each so that you can see all the actions, and let's do that. Once all players have placed and revealed their initiative boards, we move on to the execute orders phase. The first action here is to take orders from the board. Now, this is the 2-player side of the board. The other side has a 3 to 4 player board and has just more of everything available. Now, orders come in 2 parts. An essential part that has letters and coins underneath, and what we like to call the fancy part, which will show inks, specialities, and will gain you points and or other bonuses. You can have up to 4 orders on your player board, and in fact you start the game with 2. So there's space for 2 more here, but I've shunted everything up so that you can see what's going on. Once they're placed together, they can't be moved. So let's take some orders. What would I like from here? I quite like this one because I've got other orders dealing with this speciality. And I'm going to take these and I put them just here on my player board. But I'm going to put it there for now. And in fact, I start the game with 3 blocks, which I haven't done. I'm going to take those now. Once all players have taken orders, the leftover are removed. And then we move on to the next action, which is to take inks. So now, if my opponent had so they had 2 there, they would get to take, oops, not all the way there, the ink action before me. Now, when you take inks from the board, you need to choose one area. You can take as many inks as you want, as long as they come from one sector. So here, this first green one would be free. This one would cost you 1 coin, and this one would cost you 3 coins total, because you take this, this, and this. So those 3 inks would be 3 coins in total. Now let's have a look. I don't think I want the brown. I just want the red. So I'm going to take those 2 inks and pay 1 coin and pop them there. Then we move on to the develop specialities area. Oops, these go. So these go back in the bag. Little cloth bag. Doo-doo. So these will allow you to advance up the speciality tracks on your player boards. So I can either take one of these cards, which I'm going to actually do. I'm going to take this card. So I'm going to go up 1 there and 1 there. And then this card gets discarded. Now, at any point, if you don't fancy any of the specialities available, you can just choose to move up 1 on a specific track. But you really want to be moving up 2 if you can, rather than the 1 shown. So let's have a look at the speciality tracks and what they're going to do for you in the game. We have the typesetting track here. Woodcutting, binding, and illuminating. You take the card and move up the track. There are some marked levels on the track that will give you bonuses, shown on the bottom here. So if I were to move any of my markers up to 2, I'd move this here and I'd get an ink of my choice. Again, if I move 1 up to level 4, I get an ink. Level 5 gets me an order, and level 6 gets me a letter block. Now, if I'd taken this one, if I move another track up to 2, I'm not going to get that bonus again. They're one-offs that happen as you move up. Continuing to move down the main board, the next action here is improving your print works. You're going to take one of these cogs and pop them on your board. So I'm actually going to take this one. Now, the first cog you place must be at the top, then the second, then the third. I'm actually going to pop that there. Now, this gives me a different action for the turn. There's lots of different versions of these. This one here allows me to go up 1 on that track. So I'm going to pop a cube on there and take that action to prove that I've done it. The action available on the cogs is always the one in this shaded area here. Now you can see as you move them, the other cogs are going to move. So part of this game is about getting the nice combinations here. You can take each of these actions once per turn, and that's why we've got these little extra cubes here. Moving down, our last action is patronage. Now, in the first 2 rounds, you're unable to take a patron card, but you can take the actions shown. So the top one there is to take an order. These 4 are to go up the 4 specialist tracks, take some money, or take 2 inks. Now, what do I want? I'm kind of going heavy there. So I'm going to place a cube there to prove I've taken that action and go up the track. Now, I don't get that next bonus quite yet. From round 3 onwards, these patronage cards become available. If you meet the requirements for them, you can take the card and that will give you points at the end of the game. So here, for example, I need 2 brown inks and 2 letter U's. Here I'd need to be at level 4 on my typesetting and have 2 eyes, and so on. Now, if we were in round 5, I could choose to take one of these patronage cards behind the marker. But the first 2 rounds, these are our only options. After all the actions have been taken for the round, players will get the opportunity to fulfill their orders. To complete your order, you're going to need the letters shown. Everything else is surplus to requirements. However, it will give you extra points and or coins or other bonuses. At the start of the game, you start with 3 letters and you can buy extra letters at any time. The cost is actually shown at the top of your player screen. So if I own 3 types already, I can spend 4 coins for another one. So you're basically paying the amount you have plus 1. So let's have a look. I can actually fulfill an order, which is quite exciting. I have A, I and O. Now let's go on to the fancy part of the order. I have 1 red ink and I have 2 on that specialist track. So I can complete this order. So this would give me 3 coins. Coins are always good. And then here I'd get 2 points for having a red ink and 2 points for being level 2 there. And I'd also get 1 additional coin because I've completed both elements on this card. So once you use ink for orders, it goes back into the bag. Everything else you get to keep. Now, if I had another letter I, let's say, I wouldn't be able to complete this as well, even though I had everything required, because I've used those letters there. So I can't then use them for other orders this round. So do that and we discard this order. So it just goes on the discard pile. The last thing you're going to do is prepare for the next round, which basically is going to be restocking everything on the board. Once you've finished a phase, you're going to remove the remaining cards and cogs from the board. So last part is to restock everything. And after we've done that, we're going to move into round 2. Take cubes back. Oops, I forgot the cogs. These go here. Cubes back. I would pass the first player marker on, but essentially I'm going to swap it for a cube with the person next to me. So they would be first player, but they have less cubes. I now have 1 more cube for the planning phase. So at the start of the round, we're going to rotate these cogs. Now I'm doing this upside down, that's the right way. So I actually get nothing from this cog on this round. However, I'll be placing a second cog this turn and I'll be able to use that, and you'll begin to see how this works. Play will continue in this way for 6 rounds, and then we'll go on to final scoring, which is very handily shown on the board here. We do like a board that does this. So let's start at the bottom and work up. Each 3 coins you have is worth 1 point. Each patron card you've managed to get over the course of the game will give you 8 points. Then you're going to score points for your speciality track. If you see here on the high points, you're going to get 1, 3 or 6 points depending on where these markers are. So that would give me 3 points, that would give me 1 point at the game end. And the player with the most points is the winner. Honestly, Gutenberg is not doing anything groundbreaking. you gain inks, you go up tracks in order to fulfill orders, to gain points and gain money, which we've seen many times before. However, there are a few things in my mind that make this really special. Firstly, where are all the games about printing? The only other one I could think of was Extra Extra from Mayfair, which was actually about the layout of a paper, not about the actual printing. So this is a theme that we've not seen before. To tie in with the theme, they've made these absolutely beautiful letter blocks that come as standard, as part of the game. Little wooden blocks, you got a box of them with all the different letters on. These are lovely. However, the game mechanics are really nice. This initiative, turn order, determining thing is really fun. You know, if you really want one of the cogs out there, you're going to whack all your cubes there. If you're not bothered about inks, you might not bother gathering ink. So this is really nice. The other thing that's really innovative is the cog system. So let's put another cog on here. So each round you're going to rotate these, which then mean the rest rotate. So you need to constantly be thinking about getting these working in harmony with each other. So this one here, you can trade a red ink for 2 other inks. So at that point you might have another one here that gets you a red ink. So the combination with these cogs is really nice. Another thing I didn't really talk about with the gameplay is these little hexes here. These give you special abilities, they're rule breakers. This one, for example, allows me to move a cube after everyone's revealed their cubes. But all of these are based on actual historical characters. So you've got, let's have a look, a full history of all of these people, which, if you're into that sort of thing, it's amazing. There's stuff about the origin of printing, and then all these important people are actually detailed in here. So if you're the sort of person that likes that, you can read up on this and become the most knowledgeable person you know about printing in the 15th century. Possibly not a hard thing. But then also in terms of components, this is our box. Each of the components has got this little treasure chest with the picture on the top, so you know exactly what goes in each box. You can use them on the table while you're playing, but then they all neatly fit in. I really like this game. I'm really enjoying it. Let's say the initiative to determine the order, the cogs, is really nice, and it's a thing we've not seen. If you can think of any other printing games, let me know in the comments below. I'm interested now. I might have been doing a bit of reading up about printing, so feel free if I'm wrong there. So Gutenberg, available from Grana at the moment, but I know Portal Games have picked it up, so I think it's going to become more widely available. It's just a really nice game. Check it out now. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked this video. If you did, click like, subscribe, thumbs up, and all that gubbins. Come and say hello on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I play Red. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.